This month I came home from college, and as I was looking through my old trophy collection, I happened to stumble upon an old relic of my childhood. This made me feel pretty nostalgic, so I decided it was time to desperately try and relive the past by logging on to Webkinz. Webkinz hit the internet in 2005 and has been burning the wallets of struggling parents ever since. The clever concept that made this game so marketable was its line of stuffed animals, featuring tons of cute little animals, monsters, and whatever the hell this is. But these weren't just your average stuffed animals. Oh no, these guys came with their own activation codes, or secret codes as they're called in-game, that, when entered into the Webkinz website, would make these creatures come to life in the online Webkinz world. Once online, kids could interact with their stuffed creatures, feeding them, dressing them up, and decorating a room for them. But the real star of the show, in my opinion, was the minigames. I mean, after checking this game out again, oh my god, for an online kids game, this thing was absolutely filled to the brim with content, most of which I remember being there when I played over a decade ago. Was the content good? Well, some was, some wasn't. Looking at you, goody gumdrops. But today I'm here to go over the highlights and see how Webkinz holds up. I should mention that I won't be talking about everything in this game, because come on, there's like 30 games in this thing and I value my sanity.
You are one cool customer.
First up, let's talk about dressing up your character and decorating their room. Not really much to say here, as it's pretty self-explanatory. You earn money from playing games every day, and you can use that money at the Kinstyle outlet or curio shop to buy clothing items and decorations. Some items are rarer than others and only show up on certain days, so if you really want to flex on some small children, you can save up your money for the Wild Safari print screen. For better or for worse, not much has changed with this aspect of the game over the years. I never considered this the most fun part of the game, but as a kid it incentivized me to keep coming back so I could earn cool stuff like the medieval coffee table. So it certainly did its job. In that way, this part of the game still holds up if you really like to collect things, but unfortunately, I just don't feel as eager to start saving up for the Baroness bookshelf anymore.
The Wheel of Wow!
There are a few different types of minigames in Webkinz. Some are considered jobs that you can access through the employment office and earn Kinz cash for, while there's also a collection of minigames in the arcade that you can play and also earn Kinz cash for. The jobs are limited to being played once every 8 hours, and several of the arcade games are only able to be played once a day. But if you want to play wacky zingos all day long, then go right ahead. Okay, technically there is a limit to how long you can play these arcade games, as your Webkinz will run out of energy and ask to go to sleep. But it doesn't mean anything, since you can just ignore these requests and keep playing anyway. Tough shit, Beef Wellington, I've got treasure to find! Here are a few of the most notable minigames rated on my patent-pending Webkinz minigame scale of 5. Wheel of Wow is a once-a-day minigame where you spin a wheel. Wow! Hamburger Cook is a job where you have to follow the orders of customers and make their specific burger. This one's too hard. Bonanza is my favorite out of all the minigames. You play as a monkey and complete some basic platforming challenges to collect bananas without being hit by a spider or a falling coconut. I remember playing this one quite a bit as a kid, and even today it holds up as the most interesting minigame with a good amount of levels to complete. It's nothing special, but it's easily my favorite of the bunch. Plumpy's Hairdresser is a job where you style Plumpy's hair. Yeah, that's it. Polar Plunge. I remember this one. It's a pretty simple, fun game, and shit! Goody Gumdrops. This one sucks. It's super easy, even for a kid, and it's extremely repetitive. It feels like it just drags on forever to the point where I wanted to die just so it would be over after one time playing it. This game requires you to click twice. This game requires you to click twice. Extreme! Goober's Lab is your typical Candy Crush style of game, except Goober makes funny noises.
Oh yeah!
Go Go Googles features one-click gameplay and some of the most atrocious music I've ever heard in a kid's game. Polar Berry Jam is just a lame version of Pac-Man. But I like Pac-Man. So, those are the most notable games I found when revisiting Webkinz in 2019. Of course, there are some other features in this game, like Quizzy's Question Corner, which is essentially a trivia game, and how the fuck is this in a kid's game? They also added music videos into the game, which are really long and weird, but hey, who doesn't want to see their penguin sing about fishing? Overall, I was honestly impressed by just how much content is packed into this simple kids game. They did add in advertisements over the years I wasn't playing, which is really disruptive and annoying, but if you can deal with Will Smith Genie between each round of Bonanza, then you won't have a problem. Obviously, I didn't go into this thinking I would get back into the daily Webkinz grind, and... well, I didn't, but it was fun while it lasted. If we were all still 10 years old, it would be a blast to play this game with friends. But sadly, we've all grown up now, so it's probably best to leave Webkinz as a fond memory of the past. Hey, maybe Webkinz might not hold up in 2019, but at least I've got lots of other childhood favorites to look back on. Shit!
Oh, what's the coolest thing about Webkinz? What's the coolest thing about Webkinz? What's the coolest thing about